over a year ago, the Washington Post published an article that said, if you read more than 2 books in 2023, congratulations, you're in the top half of US adults. Reading 5 books puts you in the top 33%, while reading 10 books puts you in the top 21%. And anyone who reads more than 50 books is in the 1%. I'm not American, but no matter where the study's done, I am a part of the large percent of people who read no books. And after reading this, I got curious and went down like a rabbit hole of how many books people read per year. And reading these articles really made me think, because when I look back at 2023, I genuinely don't think I read a single book that year, which is really sad to think about. And if I look back on the past 10 years of my life, I can pick out a handful of years where I actually just read no books at all. And it's something that I'm really not proud of, and I would really like to change this year. When I was younger, around early middle school age, there was nothing that I loved more than curling up with a nice book right before bed. The Secret of Grim Hill was literally one of my favorite books as a kid, and every single year I would take part in this thing that a lot of Canadian schools had called the Forest of Reading. It was kind of like a book club, and at the end, if you read all the books, you could go to this festival, and every single year I would be so excited to read all the books that they picked out. And in general, I just really enjoyed reading. But when I reached high school, that love kind of faded. Things got a little bit busier, and the books that I was forced to read in school, I didn't really enjoy. So suddenly reading just became a very dreadful task for me. This was also around the time that I got into self-help books, which also didn't help because I was kind of forcing myself to read it. Sometimes it would be interesting, but most times, honestly, like self-help books actually bore me. But yeah, slowly reading just became something that was so unbearable and boring that I stopped even considering it a leisure activity. It was more of something that I had to do. Or if I did read, I would have like one book that I just kept on my counter or my desk, and every once in a while I would open it up, maybe read a couple pages or a couple chapters, and then I put it back, and it would take me about like a year to finish one book. And I would always say I just like movies better. But the reality was that my stamina for reading just became non-existent, and it just was not possible for me to sit down and finish a book. I remember going to the bookstore or the library and looking at some books that seemed interesting, and if they were like over 1,000 pages, I just thought to myself, wow, I probably will never ever be able to read this in my lifetime, which is actually a very sad thing to have to accept. But then I was like, am I actually just gonna let this be my reality? Like, am I not gonna be able to hear some stories or read some books just because I don't think that I'm capable of sitting down and just reading? There's gonna be so many books and stories that I won't be able to explore. And so I was like, okay, something needs to change.
Coming over to get closer.
So sweet.
Do you see this book?
Have you ever heard the saying, reading books and buying books are 2 different hobbies? For the last couple years, I have definitely fallen into the trap of buying books and just letting them collect dust. I bought books that I didn't even know if I would have liked just because I wanted to like them. However, I would never even open them and read them to find out if I like them or not. And then one day I said, enough is enough. I can't keep doing this because I'm spending way too much money buying books and I'm not even reading them. Or I'd open up the book, read a couple pages, and realize that this is not for me. So I went and got one of these bad boys. This is a library card with a piece of hair stuck to it. Honestly, this was an option that I forgot even existed. So today I'm going to the library. I'm just gonna get a library card because it's been a while since I've had one of those. At first, when I got my library card, I was kind of intimidated going in there. It'd been a while, and also I'm shy. But more than anything, I was scared that I would borrow a book and the due date would come around before I even got a chance to finish it, and I would just repeat this over and over and over again. And you know what? For the first couple visits, this is exactly what happened. I would borrow way more than I was capable of reading, and I would finish none of them, and I would return them. However, one day, something happened that would change my life. That is so dramatic. Over the past few years, I've kind of gotten used to the fact that it takes me months to finish a book. So this idea of finishing books before the due date was kind of like out of the realm of possibilities for me. But then one day on a random Tuesday afternoon, I went to visit one of my friends that tutors at the library. And while I was there, I took out the books Crying in H Mart and The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle. I ended up reading Crying in H Mart in less than 24 hours, and I finished The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle in a couple of days. And for avid readers, I understand that this doesn't seem like a lot, but for me personally, all that I ever really knew about myself in regards to my reading time was that it took me minimum 3 months to finish like a 300 to 400 page book. But after this, I realized that maybe I'm not a bad reader, but I've just been reading books that I just did not like. And so I never really wanted to pick them up because reading felt like a chore and it would take me forever to finish. Or I just wouldn't finish them at all, which also really killed my confidence when it came to reading. But until I read The Wind Up Bird Chronicle, I genuinely forgot what it felt like to read a book and enjoy it so much that you want to keep on reading it. It's a feeling that I haven't felt since I was younger. And I hope that if you were like me and you've read in the past, but then you took a really long break from reading, that you find your book that makes you feel this passion for reading again. It took me so many tries and so many books. It's like most things in life, there's so much trial and error, and with reading, the trials and the errors have a bigger time commitment to them, so I understand why that is a deterrent. I read a lot of books before that I didn't really enjoy, and I read a lot of books after that I didn't really enjoy. But finding that one that you really, really like is a lot of times enough to ignite that love again, because it really is a much needed reminder of how enjoyable reading can be. And now I genuinely get excited when I finish books because that means I get to start a new one. But all it takes is just one book that you really like, and you're gonna keep on wanting to chase that feeling again. And as simple as it really did change my outlook on things. When it comes to anything in life, I will always stand by the fact that starting is the worst part. And I feel like everyone knows this, but it doesn't make it any easier. But if I could tell you the one thing that helped me the most when I was getting back into reading, it was just telling myself to read one page. On days where I was lazy, yes, I only read one page. But most days, I'd say 90% of the time, I would end up reading way more than just one page. Even reading the first word makes you want to read the second one. But then again, this only works if you're reading books that you actually like. As of right now, I would say I'm still pretty new to the world of reading, but reading is something that I want to make a lifestyle, not just something that I'm doing because I had a random burst of motivation. So I decided to call in an expert. One of my best friends, Lina, is a very avid reader, and every time I stalk her on Goodreads, I feel inspired. So I hope you enjoy this conversation that I had with her. Lina, how many books did you read last year?
I read 42 books.
How do you make time for it with work and other commitments that you have?
It honestly is very ebb and flowy. There's some months where I read more and some months where I read less. Okay, this is very controversial. I'm a big audiobook person. Some people may not counting as reading, but for me it's another way to consume books. You can do it while you're walking, on the subway, out and about. I swap it for music a lot. It helps me a lot when I'm in a reading slump.
That's so funny because I was literally about to ask you a question. A lot of people have a big debate about whether they think audiobooks count as reading. But I agree. I think audiobooks do count as reading. You're still getting the story.
Maybe you're not you're listening, right,
exactly,
to an audiobook. However, you're still consuming the content and the story. I really am a big believer of consume books however you'd like to.
How do you go about finding books that you like?
Honestly, I've had my fair share of book talk recommendations. A lot of it's word of mouth, asking people what they've read. I have Goodreads, so sometimes I just look what's popular there, or what other people are reading. Sometimes I do judge the book by its cover and look at the covers and read what you like to read. It sounds so simple, but I sometimes don't even follow it myself. Maybe you bought a book and you were so excited, it was maybe really hyped, and then you read it and it's boring or just you can't get into it. And I just never wanted to pick it up. Why would you put yourself through that pain? That kind of will lead you into a reading slump. You're forcing yourself to read something that you don't enjoy. What's that?
Just such a good answer.
It's somehow really liberating to just read things you enjoy. And I feel people shouldn't shame others for what they read. Every book has its purpose, right? Not every book has to teach you a lesson or have this huge idea answered, I'm very pro, if you don't like it, don't finish reading it.
Do you ever try to break up your reading, or is it just whatever you feel that week?
Honestly, if you were even to say read one page a day, I think that makes a huge difference. One of my tips would be to set a goal. For example, I have Goodreads. Not that you need Goodreads, but I set the goal of reading 50 books this year, so it kind of motivates me every time I get to track it and like add it to my pile. Like it's kind of like fun to like set a goal that way. One of my tips actually was borrowing from the library because it gives you a deadline. So I am a big believer. Use your library card and support your local libraries.
I agree.
I guess my other tip is bring your book everywhere and like read every chance you get. Whether you're like waiting somewhere, if you can read on the bus and stuff like that, it's a great place.
What do you love most about reading?
That's a great question. I feel like you can get so many different perspectives or like be in someone else's shoe. You get to experience a journey without being that person or going through it, right? Like I think that's so cool. Even if you read a rom-com, for example, you can learn so much. Like I think you can become more emotionally intelligent. You can learn actual facts or information from a book because it's historical and it is true information. You get to travel places. I think it's so cool that you can do that all by sitting there and reading a book. Like there's so much power in this little tiny thing. It's a way to take your mind off of whatever it is, like the world, and just jump into another world. There's a lot of joy that and like also peace though. There's no stakes, you know? That's something that's really beautiful about reading. It's still consuming, right? You know, when we talk about the idea of like creating versus consuming, I feel like when I'm consuming at least books, it's something you don't have to feel bad about. I feel like you don't get more dumb by reading. If anything, you get smarter, whether it's learning new words or about new experiences or people, whatever it is. It's so different. And there's so many books out there too. There's got to be at least one book that you like, even if you hate reading.
That was beautifully said. I know I say I'm not on my socials, but I am on Goodreads, which I think is not really a social media. Actually, it is. Whatever. There are actually a couple of social medias that I do use, and it's Goodreads, Letterboxd, Pinterest, and YouTube. And honestly, I think Goodreads is actually very inspiring. It gives me good recommendations and it gets me excited for reading. Like Lina was saying, whenever you have Goodreads, you just get excited to check things off. Okay, I'm gonna show you why I enjoy it so much and hopefully it inspires you to get it as well if you don't already have it. It helps if you have active friends on there. I have 2 friends, but one of the friends is actually someone that I just met for one day. And she's probably like, why is this girl adding me? But it just is so nice because on the homepage, you get to see the activity of your friends and it gives you some suggestions too based on some books that you've added to your to be read. So you can organize the books into your own shelves. You can leave reviews. I think it's just a great way to organize what you've read and what you haven't and what you want to read. I'm not getting paid to say good things about Goodreads. I just have been genuinely enjoying it. So I think the only reading thing that does sponsorships is maybe Audible. Audible, you should sponsor this video. Actually, Audible, don't sponsor me. I'm not gonna have good things to say. I support the audiobook community. I just don't think it's for me because I get distracted really easily. But that's on me, not the audiobook. So I hope you guys try it out if you haven't yet. Or if you're like me, I made an account like ages ago and I just never used it until literally a couple weeks ago. It's not a very addicting app either because the setup of the app is like not that great. I'm not really a big fan of the interface. Besides like leaving my own reviews and like browsing sometimes, I don't really have that much of a desire to be on it for extended amounts of time, which is great. Realistically, with life and everything else considered, I'd probably only be able to read 2 books per month. So my goal for the year is 24 or 25 books. It's the beginning of March right now, and I'll show you the books I've read so far. So in January, I read End of the World and Hard-Boiled Wonderland. Also in January, I read The City and Its Uncertain Walls. I was kind of slacking in February. I read Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. To be honest, I really didn't like this book. I just couldn't get into the story. I also have another book of hers, so hopefully that one will be a little bit better for me. My 4th read of the year is Colorless Tezuro Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. I really like this book. Next one will be this. After that, I'll be reading this. This, very cute so far. This, interesting. That's my update for now. As easy as it is for me to get into something, it's also very easy for me to fall off. So I've been tracking my habits. You're gonna see how bad I am at keeping my habits in check. But anyways, one of my daily habits is reading 10 pages. Do I do it every single day? No. I feel like 10 pages is doable. Some days I read none, but on the days I do read, I'll do the 10 pages and then I'll do more than 10 pages, which kind of makes up for the days I don't read. I have a lot of books that I just added to my to be read list, so I'm very very excited about those. Whenever I go to the thrift store now, I buy like a handful of books because they're so cheap there. And I also hope that I don't just read Murakami this year, just because I really do want to diversify what I consume. For a while, when I was watching movies, I would only watch horror movies, and I'm trying not to watch horror movies anymore because I feel like it's harder for me to get inspired when I'm only consuming one genre. If you want to see what's on my to be read, I'll show you. Let me show you what I'm excited to read. I got this from the thrift store. I'm excited to read it. I got this also from the thrift store. It's 1,000 Splendid Suns. I heard this is very sad, so I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself to read it. The Time Traveler's Wife. I've heard mixed reviews about this. I wanted to read this since I was younger. I might heal my inner child by reading this. Memoirs of a Geisha. I think I'm gonna try to read this very soon because my friend watched the movie and she liked it. The Kite Runner, the Odyssey. And then my friend Lina also let me borrow People with Me on Vacation. I'm trying to stay away from self-help books, but there's two that I want to read this year. The Power of Now. I've tried to read this, couldn't really finish it, but hopefully once I build my stamina up a little bit more, I can actually get through it. Another self-help book. The Body Keeps the Score. Me Before You. My friend got this for me. A beautiful Art of War book. This, I don't know how far I am in this, not that far. 100 pages in. I think this is the prequel. No, it's the sequel. It's something related to the Da Vinci Code. I don't really like it as much, to be honest. Another one that I also have is Franz Kafka's short stories. I'm finished up until right now, Description of a Struggle. It's funny, but I don't really know what's going on. Maybe I'm not smart enough to understand. I don't know if I'm missing something, but hopefully I enjoy his other short stories. And books that I don't have right now that I still want to read. Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. I definitely butchered that. Let's see what else is on my Goodreads. I Who Have Never Known Men. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. Fourth Wing. I know the Fourth Wing hype is very high right now, but I really hate smut in books. The Old Man in the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Maybe The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. But yeah, this is a way of consuming that I really put aside for a while, and I'm really glad that I'm able to explore it. I just never thought it was for me, but I guess I just never really found what I liked yet. I know a lot of times on here I talk very negatively about consumption, but I want to be careful with that because what I really mean is that I think overconsumption is actually the problem. Consumption, when done leisurely or mindfully, is something that's really great, especially if you're someone who's planning to create work of their own. Consuming a lot of times can broaden your view about certain topics or genres or anything at all, and a lot of times it can be a really great source of inspiration. Consuming was what helped me understand what I like to see in art or media, and because of that it gave me a good idea of what I wanted to create myself. But again, it's the overconsumption that I think is really the issue, and that's why I really appreciate books. Yes, there are a lot of bad books out there, but for the most part I think reading will always be a more mindful way of consuming just because of how much more time it takes. There's a bigger trade-off when you're reading books. It takes more time and sometimes a lot more energy and discipline to read a book compared to watching a show, movie, or watching a bunch of reels or shorts. And although this trade-off is something that deters people, I think it's undeniable that in the end, anything that takes more time and effort will always be a lot more fulfilling and rewarding. The feeling I get after reading a book and the feeling that I get after scrolling through hundreds of shorts is like night and day. And although I expressed in the past that not everything has to be intentional all the time, I think you know yourself best and you know the limits of how much you should give yourself time to mindlessly consume and then mindfully consume. Both can exist in your life, it doesn't have to be one or the other. But yeah, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far. Hope you have a great day and I will see you next time.